Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to speak, about Matt today. I'm really excited about the future of Hawaii athletics with Matt's leadership coming forward. I mean, you're getting a first-class leader, someone who I think would qualify as a unicorn. He's made a very lasting imprint in the very short time he's been with the University of Hawaiʻi. I've had to work directly with him over the past year and a half, and I've really saw someone, in my career, I would say he's one of the top leaders that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. He's someone that can really deconstruct complex environments. He's comfortable being uncomfortable. He's someone that doesn't blink, and definitely cares deeply about Hawaii and the role that the university can play in Hawaii, the role that the university athletic program can play in the university system, and really getting Hawaii out there. And I think his background, we're just very, very fortunate. I think is probably the most top subject matter expert in this space in Hawaii right now. And it's current. And I think we're very, very fortunate that we have a talent like that and someone with that level of integrity and skills to be in the position he's in. So I'm excited for Hawaii and all of the athletes that are going to get to be under his leadership.
Just about his problem-solving abilities, and especially in these times when there are a lot of problems to solve.
I mean, our organization exists to try to attack Hawaii's most difficult problems, and so we invite people who have the ability to help dissect and reconstruct pathways towards solutions. And that's something that Matt and I spent a lot of time talking about. He dove into one of our most important initiatives called House Maui. He led a lot of that policy work that really pulled community input with deep sector input in the construction industry, policy and government input, and really found a way to articulate what needed to happen at the policy level at the legislature, and was able to do it in a way where people who are not thinking about this issue every day feel comfortable about having a conversation with him. We had a very, very successful session. Hawaii recently was informed that the CDBG-DR money that Maui is going to be receiving is been confirmed. They relied on a lot of the information that was collaborated with between this organization and Maui County and the governor's office, and quite frankly, Matt led that work for us. And so in many ways, he was the orchestrator behind the scenes, and this is a multi-$100-million initiative. And so, the guy is not afraid of mixing it up and doing it in a way where, you feel like it's the right thing to do.
A name like Matt Elliott's a very kind of common name, and if you try to look him up, there's a lot of Matt Elliott's online. What makes him unique? Whether it be from the macro or the even the basic level, kind of from what makes him unique?
I think there's just certain people you get around where they have a certain way in which they interact with people. It's a degree of confidence, but at the same time, a degree of humility. I think, again, if you look at his career path, starting from his education, his undergrad, his graduate, his legal background, his work with Teach for America, and then jumping into working with one of the top law firms in our country, and then jumping over to UCLA. I mean, you see somebody that has a very diverse background, and I think that's what bodes well for him. I mean, he may not be a common name today, but he will be very quickly. And it's not going to be just because he's in that position. It's going to be because of the things that he's going to tackle and the collaboration that he's going to bring. And he already has a strong following of leaders in Hawaii now. I mean, I can tell you, this organization, me personally, and a lot of my colleagues are all in on this guy. And it's just his natural thing. He's just a guy you want to help, and have a lot of confidence in his leadership, and someone that I'm just going to really enjoy watching tackle some of the issues that's facing our athletic department.
How did Matt's time at HCF come about? Coming from a place like UCLA, and the second part is what was your first impression of him, and how consistent has he been from that regard on a day-to-day basis?
You know, our VP of policy, public affairs and policy departed to manage another initiative that Tarapo was managing for us. He's over at an organization called Iole on Hawaii Island and the CEO there. And so I actually called out on some of our network of friends and family and just said, I got this vacancy. We're going to be opening up. Anybody know anybody? And actually my sister-in-law, who actually worked for Matt at UCLA for 6 years, said, hey, you know, this guy, I don't know if he'd be interested in it, but if you could get him, I can tell you he'd be great. So I called him up and he came over. We had a conversation and I told him, I said, you know, you're probably way overqualified for this. But, you know, coming back to Hawaii, I know you got some experience, but I think, you know, be a great opportunity for you. And I tell you, he dove in without, you know, any questions, and probably the best thing that happened to HCF. Because, I mean, he made, like I said, he made a quick imprint on this place. And I thank my sister-in-law, of course.
How was there ever any conversations between you and him, like, you know, he let you know, hey, I'm applying for this, and kind of.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
was that like? You know,
we had
not just as a colleague, but you know, I'm assuming as a friend, you know, to go and chase this.
There was never. I mean, we've had many conversations about the University of Hawaii and his passion to be a part of the program. But I don't think he really felt that it was going to be something that he could pursue right away. He got involved in the legislative process. He saw opportunities. You know, we invited him to have conversations to support the university system voluntarily. He was doing that on his own dime, his own time, you know, through the process. So I think he kind of just showed his kind of natural, inherent passion for education. And so we'd have conversations. You know, I'd tell him, you know, whatever you choose to do, I mean, you have our 100%. Just do it here, man. You know, and so we're very. You know, I never feel when somebody leaves our organization to go run another place, I feel like that's an extension of our work, you know. And I'm stoked about having the opportunity to work with him.
So Micah, you know, with previous administration at UH, especially if they come from outside the university or outside the state system, there's been some frustration navigating the so-called bureaucracy, red tape, and executing initiatives and getting things done, basically. Do you feel confident? And I know he's had experience with the legislature already, and but given your personal experience as well, do you feel he's well equipped to navigate, you know, through all that cobwebs or whatever you call it, and get those initiatives done?
No doubt. I think it's going to be Matt's strength, quite frankly. His ability to, his EQ, his IQ is at the top, and he has the ability, like I said, to work people through a process. And I think what you're going to find when he goes into the system is that he's gonna map out a strategy, and he's going to be very collaborative on how that strategy is built. And I think when you get buy-in like that, which he naturally does, the bureaucracy kind of goes away naturally because he builds trust. I mean, a lot of times bureaucracy is built because trust doesn't exist. It's people start to paper their way through things. And I think what you'll find in Matt is he builds that trust up front, and he lets people, you know, be a part of that process. And I have all the confidence in the world that you're gonna see a lot of that go away.
Are you a UH fan?
Big time. Yeah, I was really bummed that the UH baseball team didn't make it into the regionals because I felt like they were just getting there, you know, and I'm a big Coach Hill fan. I love what he's done to Hawaii. I love the energy he brings. I love Laura Beeman and what she does. Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm stuck to OC16 when, you know, Kanoalehi's up on there. You know, I just try to attend as many sports as I can. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
It's almost pretty cool that Matt's leading the charge now.
Oh yeah, and so I mean, you know, it was a lot of fun conversations about games and situations, and so yeah, it just gives me another reason to be more involved, I hope.
Yeah, so Mike, I mean, you're a stakeholder in this. You have family that played football at UH and whatnot. So do you feel that Matt, being from Massachusetts and living in Chicago and LA, but he's been here enough where he's kind of an adopted son and can evoke that pride in not just UH but Hawaii as a whole?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it was interesting because the first staff meeting that he attended, he came with a UCLA shirt on, and we did an introduction of him, and he went up and he took his UCLA shirt off and he had his UH, and he said, "This is me now," right? And he was just so proud to be home and to be affiliated with the green, and so yeah, he's all in, man. He's all in.